Greetings, Eric Backer, naturopath, author of Candida Crusher. Thanks for tuning in. Here's a question I get asked from time to time. Is an antifungal good against Candida? Well, it is. It's a very good idea to take an antifungal medication of some sort. There are different kinds of antifungals. You've got pharmaceutical antifungals and you've got natural antifungals. The pharmaceutical antifungals are not generally a good idea for many different reasons. There are about 3 or 4 different classes of pharmaceutical antifungal drugs. The common one people take are what we call the Zol drugs, fluconazole for example, ketoconazole. There's many different types of Zol drugs. And there are different classes of Zol drugs, but the common ones people take, for example, would be fluconazole. So these drugs do have quite strong antifungal activity, but unfortunately they've got strong side effects as well. And some of these side effects include liver toxicity, even liver damage. And for some people, they can even create anaphylactic reactions, so acute, strong, allergic immune reactions. And also they clash with a whole lot of other different pharmaceutical medications that people may be taking, like, for example, benzodiazepines, different kinds of heart medications, SSRIs, these are antidepressants like Prozac, for example, chemotherapy drugs. So there's a lot of reactions that occur with these Zol drugs and liver toxicity. So I'm not a big fan of these kind of medications at all. Many people get sick from taking these drugs. And when you stop taking them, often the yeast infection will come back because you've made no changes. You've just been taking this drug. Natural treatment is a much better option. Antifungals are very, very effective naturally. You don't need to take pharmaceuticals. And a lot of university studies and research has shown that natural things like grapefruit seed extract and garlic and caprylic acid work just as well, if not better, than drugs like fluconazole. So you don't need to take pharmaceutical drugs for fungal conditions. And in fact, some natural antifungal supplements like caprylic acid, in fact, have a good balancing effect on the stomach acidity, which makes it quite hostile for Candida to live in that region and further down. Because when you change the tummy acidity and start balancing it normally again, you're going to improve how the pancreas works and the duodenum, the small intestine. You're going to facilitate absorption and you're going to get rid of Candida. So caprylic acid, pretty good. Grapefruit seed extract, garlic, berberine, clove, neem. There are many different kinds of antifungal ingredients. There's other videos you'll see where I talk about rotating antifungals. Well, it's not necessary. If you're taking a good product, you don't really need to rotate them. Something that contains all of these things. And that's why I created CanXida, for that reason. So you don't have to rotate antifungals. So I hope that answers your question about is antifungal good against Candida. It is a very good move. A couple of tips for you with antifungals. As you start to improve, reduce your dosage. So cut down on the dosage gradually. And if you do that over about a 2-3 month period, you'll find if the symptoms stay away, then you can cut down even further and eventually stop it. If the symptoms come back, just slowly increase. And to avoid Herxheimer or die-off reactions, start slowly, especially if you've got a lot of Candida, and make sure you cut out a lot of the junk and crappy foods early on, in the diet. And if you do this, you don't usually get severe Herxheimer reaction or die-off. So I hope that answers some of your questions. Thanks for tuning in.